All right, awesome. So we are absolutely live. Welcome to 20 Questions. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder of Running Wild and Rise Presses, and I'm here right now with one of our amazing authors, Tim Rousseau. So I'm going to ask Tim, why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yeah, I'm Tim Rousseau. I'm the author of God is a Tequila Worm, which is coming out next year with Running Wild. Um, I don't know, I write short stories, write novels, I work in TV as my day job. I don't know, that's,
I don't know, that works. That's
yeah.
awesome. All right. Now, as the giveaway, um, it's actually more than 20 questions. I'm just a smart ass. So I'm gonna just like jump right into it. So what is the first book you remember ever reading?
Oh man, probably was it Magic Treehouse?
Oh,
I
cool.
think, yeah, way back. I'm sure I read more before that too, but yeah, I can't come up with Uh, it's been so long, but yeah, I can't come up with the specific book, but one of the Magic Tree House is probably pretty up there in
Okay, very
somewhere.
cool. And who's your favorite author? Let's just say in the same genre that you wrote in.
Um, hmm, that that is a difficult question.
You can be more than one.
Yeah, just I'm not good at coming up with names off the top of my head, but I don't know. I don't have any like some of the book is kind of broadly speculative sci-fi-y. But I think I'm gonna lean more literary because that's I read more literary than I do speculative. I've recently very much enjoyed. I've been reading a lot of Don DeLillo lately. I've been very much
Mm,
enjoying his work. And I don't know. I guess we could say Kurt Vonnegut is another one. I'm a huge fan of Kurt Vonnegut. Read a lot of his work in high school and college, um, and then after just continued. So,
Excellent. Okay. Who influenced your writing?
um, I mean, like any author, the authors I've read, obviously.
Mhm.
But I think less so who and more so just um, like life experiences and like the work that I do. Like I said, I work in TV, and so I come at writing with a um, almost kind of like I try to think of it almost like filmically, like very visually, very like imagining the scenes in my head, imagining the dialogue as like almost like a film reel going before the my mind's eye or whatever. And I went to film school for undergrad, and so I was trained in screenwriting specifically. So that is very much kind of formative of how I think about writing, how I approach it, whether regardless of the genre. It's just kind of how I was trained. So it's kind of the forms the base of just how I think about it.
Awesome. Which books made the biggest impact on you?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I guess going back to Kurt Vonnegut, I mean, Slaughterhouse-Five is a big one for me. Just with how just how he portrays PTSD through these very kind of non-realist sort of lenses. Um, and I mean, also a big fan of Hemingway, and so like a lot of like Hemingway's very like precise writing style.
Mm.
Especially early on when I was just like beginning to write, I tried to emulate Hemingway quite a bit. I think I've pulled away from that specifically, and um, at this point, but that was a definitely a like early influence for sure as
Okay,
well.
cool. If you could only read one book for the rest of your life.
Um, for whom the bell tolls. Is,
Oh, cool.
not only is it is long, so it'll I don't know what 10-15 hours of reading time every iteration, but also it's absolutely just heart wrenching and just um, the showing the brutality of war, showing The passion of a people fighting against fascism. I mean, just it is just a gorgeous piece of writing.
Excellent. Um, and what do you reread all the time?
Um, I reread. I don't reread all that much because I just have so much on my backlog. Um, yeah, I mean, I have a bookshelf you can see here. I have another couple in the other room, and they're like I think probably I don't know. I've read maybe a quarter of them, and then I have another 800 or 900 ebooks that I have uh, read maybe 100 of.
Wow.
But
Cool.
I like I think it was Umberto Eco. There's a quote or something from him where he talks about how he has this. I mean, this enormous library, like 15,000, 20,000 books. And
Mhm.
someone asked him once, like, "Oh, have you read all of these?" Like, "No, no, no." But but it's a good thing because I know that if I ever like need to reference something, if I have a need for something, I will find it in this library somewhere.
Mm,
So I kind of approach it the same way, where um, I don't reread things all that often, uh, but yeah, but I always have something new to read. I always have more work to engage with, which will, hopefully influence, hopefully give direction.
got it. Okay. What book would you save in a book burning?
Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I can give the ironic answer of Fahrenheit 451, but um, let's see. I don't have a title coming offhand, but I guess from I guess the criteria I would use would be something that is um, I mean, I guess if it's being burned, it's dangerous to the establishment in some way. So I would say something that is dangerous to the establishment, but also promotes peace and human liberation and equality and all these virtues. That would
Okay.
be my criteria, at least.
Cool. What inspired you to write God is a tequila worm?
Yeah. So the book actually was originally two different ideas that kind of came together. And I mean, you can probably kind of tell from the way the book is structured, but uh, being kind of like it's a kind of dual narrative happening. But so those two kind of were like orbiting in my mind for a while, for a couple of years. And I'd written like a few, not quite, I don't know, like a few pages of a draft here and there, and kind of that sort of thing, like kind of a free writing exercise for a couple of years. And it didn't really like really crystallize until after a couple of years of that. My grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we had to put him into a nursing home, and that kind of formed like the unifying principle behind these two stories kind of orbiting together. And I mean that's the main character of the book is obviously a man with dementia, late stage dementia. Um, and yeah, just kind of like thinking like I mean, being the grandson of someone who is going through that, and then so seeing it from my perspective, seeing kind of trying to kind of empathetically see it from his perspective, like what would it be like to experience that?
Mm,
Um, and that kind of thing has always been kind of like a fear of mine, like Alzheimer's or uh, like really bad psychoses, like anything that where like the mind is not able to kind of recognize itself, not able to recognize its surroundings accurately, has always kind of been this like kind of lingering fear of mine. And so just kind of exploring it in this text, exploring what that looks like, and especially with the book, kind of exploring questions of what it is to die with dignity, what it is to what does that internal struggle look like, knowing that you're on your deathbed, and how what is a virtuous way to approach that, I guess.
mm, got it. Wow. Who did you allow to read the book as you were writing it?
Um, I uh, I have a really good friend from high school who I sent early drafts to, and my wife also read early drafts of it as well. Both of them were very. I mean, both of them are. They're both listed in the acknowledgments. and they both were massively helpful with the book. The former my friend from high school, we've exchanged writing for years and years and years, and um, they very much um, were very formative in like the early part of me learning how to write fiction.
Mm.
And my wife is an actor, so she was very helpful with the character work specifically.
Excellent. Fantastic. If you were at a dinner party with 4 seats, what 4 authors or other people would you invite to the table?
Um, um, I mean, Vonnegut would have to be invited for sure.
Mhm.
Um, so I've already invoked him a couple times. I think I would shy away from Hemingway, um, because I don't think he'd get along with anybody at the table, primarily.
Okay.
Um, but let's see. Um, I'm really bad at pulling names in my off the top of my head. But let's see. Let's see. Um, I think um, Sylvia Plath would be an interesting author to have invited there as well. I think. Let's see. I also actually Valerie Luiselli. I mean, still living, obviously, but she would also be. I would love to have a chat with her at some point. Like I read "Story of My Teeth" a year or two ago, and was just
Mhm.
absolutely blown away by it. And just like kind of like specifically with that book, with like the community oriented approach she took with the book, was I would love to have a conversation with her about that if I ever get the opportunity. But and let's see who else. I'm drawing a blank on the fourth name. I would probably want to steer away from authors for the fourth name and go with someone who is maybe a historical figure from a um, like some sort of like peace movement, or like one of the leader, someone in leadership from like the civil rights movement, or like someone like that would be the fourth
Okay.
name. I don't have a specific person though.
Okay. Cool. What's your drug of choice?
My drug of choice,
Yeah.
alcohol. Definitely alcohol. It's also reflected in the book.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what book is your guilty pleasure?
Mm. Um,
Or you could just, like, name a genre.
a genre?
Yeah, if you want.
Um, a genre's probably easier. I mean, I don't know if it's guilty. I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. Like if you like something, you like something. Like who cares?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I like I really enjoy like like hard sci-fi as well. Like I write mostly literary. I write mostly kind of like more speculative, less sci-fi, like hard sci-fi. But
Mhm.
like I mean, the TV shows specifically, like Battlestar Galactica, movies like Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm.
Like things like that, like kind of alien, like space stuff. I'm a huge fan of the Halo franchise. Like just kind of space, hard sci-fi, kind of space opera sort of stuff is lots of fun.
Okay, cool. And what movie or TV show is your well, your let's just say your, biggest pleasure instead of guilty pleasure. How about that?
Pleasure. Probably either Lost or Battlestar Galactica, one of the two. Like the new one, not the '80s
Not
version.
the old one.
Yeah.
Got it. Do you read with music or quiet or some other sound?
Oh, complete quiet. I get distracted so easily. Like even just I'll read like a paragraph of something, and then a car will go by and I'll just be like, "What? I can't." Like just immediately distracted. So it's a shame though, because I used to be able to like read a book and not even be like seeing the words. It just like created pictures in my head. And my brother tells me that he can still do that, and I can't do that anymore. And I don't know what
Okay.
happened, but I wish I still could. But
Yeah. Okay. If you could ask for one thing to change in the world, what would it be?
mm. um, one thing to change.
Mhm.
Um, I think the the biggest thing I think I would like to change would be for um, individual nations and world leaders to allow for national self determination universally. I think that would be the biggest positive change that could happen in the world immediately.
Mhm.
And I think that would have a ton of knock on effects with a lot of um, not to get super political, but that would have a lot of knock-on effects for ending a lot of wars that been happening unnecessarily, ending a lot of sanctions or ending a lot of like embargoes and sanctions and um, human rights abuses, things like that. A lot of that would go away if the world just acknowledged that national self-determination is paramount.
Mm. What does your reading environment look and sound like?
Um, Varies. I mean, this is often the room that I read in.
Mm.
But yeah, I have a little couch over here. Um, yeah, I either read on the couch or I read in bed mostly. I've I like the image of like reading and writing in like a cafe or in a bar or something like that. But I like I said, I can't focus on something if there's a lot of noise happening. So I
Got
need
it.
quiet than that.
Cool. Paper, ebook, or audio?
Um, Definitely paper is my first choice,
Mhm.
but it's close. It's close with ebook. I mean, like I said, I have several hundred paper books, but I also have like six or 700 ebooks as well. I read PDF quite a bit.
Mm.
Makes it very easy, especially with things that are like not in print or especially what is it, like out of copyright. I like reading a lot of stuff from like the 1800s, 1900s that is out of copyright. So that's really useful to for like PDFs and ebooks and things with that. And I recently got a an iPad and a like a knockoff Apple Pencil or whatever,
Mhm.
which makes it really useful because I like taking notes as I read. So that was one of the big things standing in the way from me just universally just reading nothing but ebooks. But now that I
Mm.
have that pen, I can just take notes in the margin really easily.
Nice. Okay, cool. Who would you cast as your main characters and why?
And oh, my main character's in the book.
Mhm.
I think Gary Oldman would have to be Peter, because he's just
Amazing.
amazing in every role he's ever. Yeah. Um, mm, let's see. Um, for um, this is a tough question. I wish I had like IMDb up in front of me or something. But uh,
You can, by the way, like,
I
if you
can.
want to.
I don't know. Waste a whole bunch of time just like looking things up. But
Okay.
uh, I don't know. I think this is more so just a list of the actors that I really highly respect. But
That counts.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think I think Paul Dano would do a really good job portraying Edmund. Um, it's really eclectic, but and then so Santa and Lucy and I really don't know. I
It's okay. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
maybe Charlize Theron for Lucy.
Mm.
Um, I don't have anyone coming to mind for Santa though.
Okay, cool. You can discover someone. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Describe yourself in 5 words.
Um, let's see. Let's see. Maybe sometimes pretentious, caring, and thoughtful. I don't know.
Okay. Describe your life in 5 words.
Life in 5 words. Probably the same. Sometimes pretentious, caring, thoughtful.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. What was your last, guilty
Sorry, pedantic. I would say pedantic rather than pretentious.
pedantic? Okay. I like pedantic.
That's
Um, Describe your last guilty pleasure.
That's
Food,
guilty
activity, whatever.
pleasure. In regards to what, like food, substances,
Whatever.
media, whatever.
Anything.
Hmm. Um, Last guilty pleasure was I went to see a midnight screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show last night, which was lots of fun, and I huge fan. I guess if there ever was a guilty pleasure for me, it's probably Rocky Horror Picture Show. I performed as the in the shadow cast of it 3 years in a row in undergrad, and I just it's the movie is terrible, but I really enjoy like the performance aspect of it. I really enjoy like the callbacks, like the crowd element of it is always so much fun. But
I am so incredibly jealous that you did that. I'm just gonna say that. So, okay.
unfortunately, they didn't have a shadow cast last night, unfortunately, but there was but yeah, no, it was crazy because like I said, I performed it. So we have and the script we were performing it off of back in the day was this was like 10 years ago, but was basically every single line of dialogue in the movie had a
Mm,
corresponding callback to it. So basically, you couldn't get through the whole movie and hear all of the lines. And for a
mhm.
really long time, I didn't actually know the real words to like the songs they sing because I was just saying the callbacks for everything. And yeah, no, and I think I remembered maybe 30% of them last night, and but like I kept remembering them like after it was too late to say it. I was like, God damn it.
If you could write yourself into a novel, would you be the hero or villain and why?
Hmm. I actually don't think I'd be either. I don't know, this says quite a bit about me, but I would be the foil character most likely. I would write
Oh,
myself in
cool.
as the maybe the advisor to the protagonist, or um kind of like the um I don't know, my, like the wise character in the mountains that is there's the
Mm,
the journey towards to get direction for the I don't know I I mean, this is the pretentious part coming out, I guess, is, I don't know. I don't know that it's not that I like, want to see myself as, like, the wise, kind of disinterested character or whatever, but
mhm.
I think I fit the role of that kind of being kinda separate and, intellectually engaged rather than being the one leading the charge or the one, against the charge, either way.
Got it. Okay. Is there anyone that you dream you could work with and why?
Creatively or
In general.
in general? Okay. Uh, I'm gonna take that as creative. Hmm. I would love to work with the creators of Lost on something actually. That'd be a lot of fun. Like, uh, I mean, like I said, I have a background in screenwriting, so just like working on writing stuff with them. Back when I was in college, like one of the initial career goals I had was to get on a writer's room somewhere, ideally doing something kind of like sci-fi-y.
Mm.
That didn't happen, but
Mm,
uh, I also didn't move to LA, so that kind of bit myself in the ass on that one.
mm.
Um, but yeah, that'd be. I mean, just yeah, that it would be fun to work with them. I think, and just kind of I don't know. So if you're listening, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. What animal would you run wild with?
Um, I mean, I'm a cat person, so I'm probably a cat. But
Okay.
do you mean that like I would go like running with, or like go on an adventure with, or like I would become, or
It can be whatever you want it to be.
um,
However you choose to interpret it.
um, yeah, I mean, a cat, I guess. Some sort of feline, whether that's a big cat or a house cat or whatever.
Okay. When was the last time you ran wild, and what did you do, and what made it wild?
That's ran wild. Hmm. Um, I ran wild. I don't know. I'm a perhaps unfortunately sedate person.
Mm,
I was a bit wilder in college, I guess. I I guess this is a fun story. When I was a junior, I think I was a senior maybe. So one of the traditions at my alma mater with Ithaca College is to they do like this fundraiser where everyone jumps in the fountain. At least they did. I don't know if they do anymore, but where everyone like jumps in the fountain outside the theater building.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it was like maybe a month and a half before that, and me and some friends were hanging out and drinking and being rowdy, and
Mhm.
we decided we wanted to we didn't want to do the event or anything because a bunch of reasons, but yeah, we ended up running around drunkenly. Ended up jumping in the fountains, running around campus in our underwear, and we jumped in the fountains. And yeah, it's self-explanatory why that's a little running wild, but yeah, and there was there's a rumor, kind of like an old wives' tale or whatever, that if you jump in the fountain, or if you're ever in the fountain outside of like the graduation celebration or whatever, you like won't graduate, or all these like bad things will happen. Kind of very superstitious and all that.
Mhm.
Um, I None of them did, but
Great.
yeah, so we were just being drunk 22-year-old idiots.
Okay. What's on your playlist?
Playlist.
Mhm.
Recently been listening to Ren. I just discovered him on Spotify. He's a new British artist. He just released an album called Sick Boy.
Mhm.
It's very, very good. It's hip hop, but it has kind of like a glitchy hyper pop sort of sound to it as well. And his lyrics are just absolute poetry. Beautiful, beautiful
Mhm.
music.
Oh,
Uh,
fabulous.
a lot of mental health themes. A lot of just kind of feeling alienated from society sort of themes, and it's just
Mhm.
very, very, very good. And then so that's the new release that I've been listening to, but I'm also a former emo kid, so listening to a lot of like Under Oath and Dance Gavin Dance, and some Tides of Man. I don't know what else, like The Used, Say Anything, like that kind of stuff in the
Mhm.
early 2000s. So it's just
Oh,
constant rotation.
okay. Wow, cool. Do you write to music? Oh no, you already said that. Nope, you're more of a quiet.
I tried to write to music a few times, and I like the idea of having like a instrumental playlist. But
Mm,
sometimes if it's like classical music, or sometimes like like that like study music that's on YouTube, it's like the lo-fi or whatever. Sometimes I work to that, but it has to be very, very kind of drony and not a whole lot of like texture to it. Otherwise, I'll
mm,
be distracted by it.
right, got it. Disney, Universal, Warner Brothers, or another?
Um, I'd say DC.
Okay.
For Yeah, DC to Marvel. Some of the grittier stuff. I've never really been a huge like comic book reader per se, but I do really enjoy like the Alan Moore, like his Batman, and his
Mm,
some of his stuff is very interesting, and I think has a lot of interesting things to say about society and kind of how the kind of Western Anglo psyche kind of works.
got it. Tea or coffee?
Tea. I can't do caffeine at all, so I drink tisanes specifically, so like
Oh
peppermint
wow.
tea, chamomile, etc. But I'm
Okay.
a crazy person, and I will wake up and have a chamomile tea like first thing in the morning. It relaxes me, but it doesn't put me to sleep at all.
Oh,
But
very nice.
yeah,
Appetizers or dessert?
appetizers.
Okay.
Huge. All Yeah. Just I'm not really a sweets person, so like I like give me fried food, give me you know mozzarella sticks, or
Mm,
like hot wings, stuff like that.
got it. Chocolate or vanilla?
Um, Chocolate, but the real answer is strawberry. Like strawberry. I'm thinking ice cream with this specifically, but
Okay, excellent. And is there anything else that you want to share?
hmm, I don't know. Just I mean, maybe uh, books coming out in September next year. Maybe get the book.
Excellent. All right. Well, with that, I want to thank you, Tim. This was been an absolute blast. And if anyone wants to check out Tim's book or any of our other books, you can just go to runwildpublishing.com, and it'll take you right over to our catalog. So with that, thanks and have a great night.
Yeah. Have a good night.